Amy Rich with amyrich.stampinup.net, here to share with you a project just in time for Father's Day. You see this adorable little pouch holds a Hershey's milk chocolate, and what Dad doesn't like that. So I'm going to show you how I designed the package to fit the Hershey's chocolate. I started with a sheet of 5.5 by 6.5 early espresso paper. And then I took my paper trimmer and I scored that at 2.25, 2.5, 4.75, and 5. Okay, then turning it the other direction so that the 6.5-inch side is along my cutting guide here. I'm going to score that at 1/4 inch, and this time I'm using my guide on the right hand side of the blade. And then flipping that around, then I'm going to line that up at 1 inch, and that one I'm going to score from the first scoring line here to the first second scoring line over here. And it's a little bit harder to see, but you get the idea. So in order for you to see those lines more easily, I created this little cheat sheet for you, and you can see that you score at 2.25, 2.5, and then 4.75 and 5, and then 1 inch along here, and 1/4 inch along this whole bottom side. So then we're ready to go on that. Now the zigzag lines are the lines that need to be cut. So I'm going to just do that for you. Cut down to the 1 inch scored line here, and then trim that out. So you'll do that there, and then over here as well, and then we'll trim just these little pieces here. So that what you get is a piece that looks something like this with these little flaps ready to be folded. So now I'm going to fold on all of those scored lines, and then the box will be ready to be put together. And then don't forget these bottom ones, because that will allow the candy not to slip out the bottom. Okay, so all of them are folded and ready to be assembled. So next you'll want to put sticky strip along this side and then along the inside of one of these pieces, and I'll show you what that looks like. So I put my sticky strip here, and then also sticky strip down here. And then you can note that I've also corner rounded these top corners. So now I'm going to put my box together. So I'll peel my sticky strip liner off and fold this over. And you will want to make sure not to go too far or your candy bar won't fit. That's a quick tip for you. And then you'll note that the sticky strip side for the bottom needs to be assembled last. So I'm going to peel that off and then fold my ends in with that sticky strip side last. And that's what's going to hold it together. Then last of all, you'll want to fold this scored piece back. And then we're just going to take some adhesive to tape that down. Oh, before we do that, oops, we'll want to take some Soho Subway Designer Series paper, and that goes, not quite up to the top, because when you fold the flap down, the top of it will be covered. And then we can fold that flap back. Okay, so this is what we've got so far. And then on a piece of 3/4 inch by 2 inch, corners rounded, that's going to fit right on that little flap. So we'll take our early espresso ink pad and ink up Happy Father's Day, which comes from our Teeny Tiny Wishes. All right, so then we can attach that to our flap So we've got our sentiment on there and ready to go. Now, one thing I didn't point out earlier is that it does have a front pocket on it so that we can add another sentiment. Finally, a day that really is all about you. And that comes from our new set, Really Good Greetings, found in the Stampin' Up! 2013-2014 annual catalog. And we're going to take another piece of Early Espresso cardstock, and we're going to cut that at 2 3/4 by 3 1/4, and then we will score that at 1 inch, putting the 3 1/4 inch along the guide here. We'll score it at 1 inch, and then we'll turn it and score at 1/4 inch, and then flip it and score that at 1/4 inch. Let me show you what that looks like on a template here. So we've got our 2 3/4 by 3 1/4 piece. We score it at 1 inch and then 1/4 inch from each side. Then you see I've got zigzag lines again, and that means we need to cut those corners out. So I'm going to fold these so that I can see my lines more clearly. And then taking my scissors, snip out these 2 little flaps so we can get rid of those pieces completely. Then once again, I've got one ready to go here. You'll note that with the one I have ready here, I have again corner rounded these top corners, and then I've added sticky strip to those flaps on the sides as well as to the bottom. So we will remove the sticky strip liner here on all 3 of these, and then we'll take our pouch and line up the bottom with our little extra piece, and then fold over these flaps so that they're stuck really nice and tight to the side of the box. Then I've got another piece of the Soho Subway Designer Series paper, and I'm going to attach that to the bottom section here, and then once again tape the flap down so that it's shut. Now we have to make the little tag. So I've just got a little piece of 1 3/4 by 3 1/2 inch very vanilla cardstock, and using our Early Espresso ink pad again, I'm going to stamp the Finally a Day That Really Is All About You at the bottom, and that is absolutely gorgeously stamped. You can see that it's nice and bold and bright. You know, the color looks great on there. And then using our new Artisan label punch, I'll punch out another piece of that Soho Subway Designer Series paper. And then we're going to fold this one in half and adhere it to the top of our tag. That just makes it look a little bit more finished. And then taking our 1/16 inch circle punch, just punch a little hole there, and then I'm going to take the linen thread, it's about 6 or 7 inches long, fold it in half, and then make a real tight little fold here so that I can get it through my teeny little hole punch. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to do that on camera, so I had one ready to go just in case. But then you take your 2 ends and put it through that loop and then pull tight, and you've got yourself a nice little tag. And you can trim these down if you'd like. And then that can go right into the pocket, and of course then it's ready for our Hershey's chocolate candy bar for Dad. Thanks so much for watching today, and hope you fathers out there have a happy Father's Day, and hope to see you again soon.